According to the Michigan Grow, Michigan Great website, Michigan field corn is one of the state's most abundant grown crops, with more than 297 million bushels grown annually. The Buchanan School Farm helps contribute to this massive field corn, even though there are only 65 acres farmed on the school farm.
Field trips are you taking your students to?
I've taken my third grade classes to the school farm for the corn harvest in October. We handpicked the corn and then took it into the barn and used the old-fashioned the corn shucker and just all those old-fashioned equipment in the barn that was there since there was no electricity back in the 1800s when the barn was built, so that all those antique machines still work. It was really a great experience for kids to walk out to the field, or sometimes we would have a tractor with a wagon to take the kids out to the field to fill up their bushels of corn and then bring them back. And then we would have corn games that we would play, and so we're combining the educational part with just having fun being outside and connecting with nature.
So, can you explain the process of corn growing and what that looks like?
Yeah, we'll come out probably about a week after plow days and we'll start working the ground down. And then we'll come out and plant the corn probably within 10 days. And we'll disc it and run the finisher over it. And we usually plant the beans and the corn about the same time if both planters are in the same area. And then we will watch it grow. And we come out and put chemicals on it to kill the weeds. It'll start to mature about September, beginning October, and then we'll come out and harvest it probably middle October to 1st of November.
So how much does the school farm yield?
It yields anywhere from 150 bushel to 200 bushel on corn on a good year. And
How long does it usually take to collect, shuck, grind, and store the corn?
The field trips, we were usually there for a few hours, and we would divide up into 3 different groups. We'd have a group that started out in the barn. They would be grinding the corn and learning about the machinery. Then we'd have another group out in the field actually picking the corn and filling those big bushels. So it would take maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes for each rotation, and then the last rotation would be going to disassemble the scarecrows.
What are the third graders learning on this trip?
So they're learning about the parts of a corn plant and the root system that holds that corn plant in place, and that there's usually 1 to 2 ears per corn stalk. They're learning all the parts. They're learning the life cycle of a corn plant, but they're also looking at because we're picking it by hand, and we're taking it into the barn to hand grind it. So all the things we're doing without electricity, without modern machinery. So there's what I liked about that part of the field trip is that it's connecting back to history and how they used to do it. And then also the kids who live on farms, they could see the practices that they're doing on their own farms are being practiced at the school farm, like no-till in the fall and crop rotation. So those things that are important on their own farms, they're seeing that done at the school farm. So they're learning things, they're getting out in nature, picking that corn, and then they're also seeing the practices of good farming. Just being outside and experiencing that, getting their hands dirty, and learning how to work together when they're picking that corn and carrying their baskets, and doing the shucking and shelling machines, and just I believe it's one of their favorite field trips.
Next time you eat a bowl of cereal, use corn oil, cornstarch, or corn syrup, the corn you may be eating might have come from our school farm.